I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
I've been just a Black Country Bloke, chewing the fat about everything that is mental health. And today, boxing. It's our Lions Den with me, Kev Dillon, my partner in crime, as always, Lee Cadman. And we're joined by two good friends, Hamza Uddin. Have I said that right?
Hamza Uddin.
Uddin. See, I told you. And his dad, Raj, who's the head coach of Fearless. Now, what a career this young man's had. But we're going to be talking about that and so much more. But we're going to start, as always, the gratitude list. And today, I'm very grateful. The champ here has signed some gloves. So we're going to be auctioning them off on one of our shows. So I'm so grateful, A, for coming down, for signing them gloves. It means a lot to us. Lee, what are you grateful for, bro?
Well, that's I'm really grateful for both of you for coming down and chatting to us. But I'm also grateful. It was my daughter's 10th birthday yesterday. And we didn't think she'd live to see 10, to be quite honest. So I'm just really grateful she's still with us, still happy, still smiley, and, yeah, still causing us mischief.
Hamza, what are you grateful for, brother?
I'm grateful for boxing. I've got boxing as a great sport, and it's allowed me to do so many new things. But today it's allowed me to meet a new brother in Lee and many brothers and sisters downstairs in the gym.
Thank you. Raj, what are you grateful for, brother?
Yeah, I'm so grateful, for you guys to have us here. I'm a Fearless boxing head coach, and been running the club for a while now. Got some good boys, Yeah.
Well, every year you turn out either Midland champs or national champs. I mean, your youngest son, is he youngest son downstairs?
Yes, he's the younger of the two. He's younger than Hamza. Yeah, he's about 17 now. Yeah.
2 national champions he's had. And every year, I mean, you've just done brilliant in the development. And we're going to, I've always called them the CYPs, but whatever they're bloody called nowadays. And you've got 5 entering. So best of luck to you and to the club.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, they're doing really good. I'm proud of them, basically,
Well, we've just had Yusuf down there sparring with our Zayn, who was novice national champion last year. And it's great. You're seeing what boxing needs is what the Midlands are now doing. It's taken us for years. Getting the Priory down, and getting Fearless down, and Black Country Wellbeing Centre. Getting the Midlands to be the best division. We're the biggest division, but the Scousers, the Manx, the Geordies, the Cockneys all stick together. It's about time Midlands boxing is taking suit,
100%.
sparring each other, and when we're at championships, cheering for each other's boxers, willing each other on, because it's not about, obviously it's great when the Fearless or the Lions win, but it's another Midlands boxing club getting to the nationals.
100%.
But you, champ, how old was you when you first started boxing?
When I first started boxing, I was around 5 or 6 years old. I was very young. Yeah, I might have been even younger, actually. There's a video of me on my Instagram, actually.
Is there?
Of me smacking the bags when I'm in nappies. which is absolutely mad, because dad used to do it himself, so I found his gloves. So yeah, it's been a long, long time.
And how old were you when you had your first bout?
Skills bout at 10 years old. I think you can have full bouts now at 10 years old.
You can.
But back in my day, it was only the skills bouts.
And I love skills matches because some kids are never going to be ready. But you try them out on the skills. And I think skills at 10, up to 16. But I think at 10 years old, you're still a baby. Stick with the skills.
I think, yeah, that. But
Depends on the
there are some that are ready.
Yeah.
There are some that are ready. Like someone like me, I just wanted to fight. I wanted to get my hand raised and win. And so, some kids are like that. So some kids will be chomping at the bit to go and get wins and stuff. And some kids aren't. And that's the beauty of the sport. I think everyone's different. So I think there should be like, there's more transparency. There should be more. I don't know. There should be like England boxing. I think they're doing okay now. It's not. There's the option where you want to fight or you want to have a skills bout. And there's plenty of lads who are doing skills. And I like skills bouts because it just takes away the nerves and the fear. That's a big part of boxing. I think once you can overcome that, that's when you can really start pushing to be really good. And if you can't overcome that, then it's absolutely fine. You can relax and have skills bouts, and you can tell your mates that you're a boxer.
Yeah, and you develop at different levels, don't you?
Of course.
Some people are obviously developed and used to it, and some people, the crowd won't bother them. Other people, they'll just be petrified before they go in,
100%,
and
yeah.
not because of the fight, because of the people who are there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like boxing, like life. It's just about routine. Once you get into the routine, I think that's probably the scariest part. Even just weighing in and getting your gloves on could be scarier than the actual fight.
Yeah.
So I think once they get through that stage, I think most of them they're all right.
Well, we had Richard Woodall on here, and Richard Woodall fought Joe Calzaghe and Roy Jones Jr. And I think, as you said, we just get to find out. I wasn't frightened of anyone. I was frightened of letting myself down. And I think that's a lot of boxers, because we're in the pain sport. If you don't like getting it, don't be a boxer. There's not the fear of being hurt. It's the fear of not reaching your full potential.
And losing, he mentioned. He just absolutely was fearful of losing, especially something like a first round knockout. Because it's not only you lost, it's embarrassment as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
No,
but
there's
it's
not.
That demon in your head, isn't it?
It can happen to anyone, can't it? This is just one punch away, really, isn't it? So
100%. No, that is right. I think even in my case, you're not scared of getting hit. You can't really be scared of getting hit as a boxer.
No.
And obviously, when you do it from such a young age, as mad as it sounds, you almost get immune to getting punched. Almost. Obviously, no one's ever fully immune, but you get kind of immune to it, and you kind of feel comfortable with it. But yeah, just disappointing yourself, because you have, obviously, as you go up, you get more and more people believing in you. And like we were saying about getting as many people there as possible, the one bad side about having loads of people at your fights is more pressure.
yeah.
There's more people that are gonna laugh in your face if you lose.
How do you deal with that?
You see, there's two ways. One, you can just run away from it and try and put it out of your mind, or you almost use it as fuel. And I almost say to myself, you know what, people are watching. I can't stop that. I've got a big platform. I can't stop that. So I've just got to embrace it, and I've just got to use it as motivation and say, more people could laugh at me when I lose, or you could spin it around and say more people are going to cheer me when I win. And I think that's the way I like to look at it.
That's the right attitude.
And nerves are a part of boxing, aren't they? They're a part of sport. And when you're looking through the changing rooms, especially in an amateur, when you've got like 50 bouts on in the championships, and you've got to realise everyone in there is nervous, but they're holding it in a different way. It's how you use the nerves, isn't it?
100%. How many times have you asked, like, an amateur boxer? We get it all the time. You'll ask them, are you nervous? And they'll say no. I'm like, you are nervous, and it's absolutely okay to be nervous.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing to be nervous.
I remember a story from Frankie Gavin saying he was in the, obviously Frankie, how decorated was he as an amateur, and as a pro he did absolutely fantastic. He says, but the one time I was in the dressing room, and basically the coach stopped me jumping out the window of the toilets because I was that nervous about going into the ring and fighting that he was going to jump out the toilet and run off and just go. You just think, and you'd never think that to Frankie Gavin, would you?
100%.
With his accomplishments.
100%.
But and Carl Froch was the same. Even before he fought George Groves, he was an absolute wreck. And he'd done at that point how many fights had he had, and how many he'd done it, been there and done everything, won world titles, done the lot. He was an absolute wreck,
100%.
nervous wreck before the fight.
There's loads of stories like that, and being nervous is normal. If you're not nervous, there's either something wrong with you, or you just don't care. And you'll see all the good boxers will tell you they're always nervous before fights because they care, they want to win. So I never think it's a bad thing. If any of the boxers ever say, I'm not nervous,
And in the amateurs,
it's okay.
you will lose. And like we've had boxers, and they come out and they have a cry. And I'm sorry. I went, why? It means that much to you. But hold yourself together, shake the opponent's hand, go to the change rooms, and fall apart then. Because if you're not upset when you lose, it means nothing to you. You should have that want and desire, shouldn't you? And in the amateurs, it's all a learning game, isn't it?
100%. There's no pressure. I mean, no one wants to lose. And you'll never send a boxer out to lose and say, oh, it doesn't matter. But it's inevitable, especially in the amateur game. It's inevitable, and you just got to go out and give your best. As long as you're giving your best and you performed the way you're expected to perform, winning and losing doesn't matter. But of course, if you don't perform the way you should, if you're not listening to the coaches, then there is a problem. That's what I think anyway. I think that's a big problem, because even if you lose the fight, there's potential to lose further fights, and no one wants to lose because the coaches are there for your well-being. They're there to help you win, and if you're not going to listen to them, there's obviously something that's not right. So I think I'd look at that more than the win or lose, because sometimes in the amateurs, like we were saying about judging, is very, very, subjective. Maybe the judges just didn't like your work on that day. Maybe on another day you would have won unanimous. So,
And I say that sometimes we can't control the result, but we can control the performance. As long as you give it your all, that's all right. Sometimes they've just seen something different.
1,000,000%. That's just boxing. That's just the sport. That's just anything in life. In most
We
sports.
saw it on last weekend with Bivol and Better Behave, didn't you? Like,
Exactly.
how many people had? You know, it was such a close fight. It was what you enjoyed watching, wasn't it?
What did you just score it?
I had Bivol actually by 2, but I couldn't argue. You know what I mean? I wouldn't turn around and say it was a disgusting result. I know Eddie Hearn's been off on one a bit, and he's saying it was a terrible result. But for me, I was like, actually, it's just a really close, good fight.
And you see what you see, don't you?
Yeah,
and
that's
it depends.
it.
How did you score it?
I had it a draw.
Did
I
you?
had it 6-6, but
And no one can argue.
you see
Like,
it either way.
yeah.
It's not what you like.
yeah.
Do you like the pressure, or do you like the back foot boxing?
Mm,
I had it a draw. It was a dead close fight. It was such a good fight.
yeah.
Such a good fight. That's
It
what we
was.
need. Undisputed fights. Best versus the best.
And
Yeah.
now Turkey O'Shea is doing it. We're getting the super fights.
You need to get on those cards as well.
You know
will.
what? I was supposed to fight on that card actually.
Really?
I was supposed to fight on that card, yeah, but obviously because I was injured or just coming back from injury, just a bit too soon. But
Hopefully
there's
next year.
been talk, so next year, 100%.
And before we talk about your pros, I mean, 8-time national champion. I mean, bloody hell. How old was you on your first national?
My first one was 13 years old, I think. 13 years old. Long time. I just won so many since then. But the first one's always the hardest, I think, because I actually got to 2 finals and lost them before I won the first one. That's why it meant so much more to me when I won the first one, because the first 2, first one I lost in the finals. I thought I just nicked it, but I could kind of see why I lost the fight. And the next one after, I thought I definitely won it. I thought, okay, we've got the title in the bag, and then the decision happened, and I lost the fight. So that's why that next one, I was just that year. No one was beating me that year. You could have put Joshua in that ring. You weren't going to beat me that day.
But sometimes when you have a loss like that, it gives you resilience, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. 100%. If you just won every fight, be sick of it, especially as a kid. Just be sick of it. But these losses, they teach you things that you didn't think you'd need teaching about. And I think without my losses, I would definitely not be where I am today.
And you know, when you've won the national so many times, and I've seen this with our boxers, and it's normally winning the Midlands is bloody brilliant. You've won the pools, but then you're expected to win Midlands, and you're expected to get to the finals. And sometimes that bit of pressure can really be hard on you, can't it?
It is, and it's like a different type of pressure. It's hard to explain, but it's real. It is there. It's hard actually, yeah, because I remember, win the nationals, but then the next year, you're almost expected to win it again, and it's tough because then you've got someone who you're fighting, and he's probably never won a nationals, so he's hungry as ever. He's coming to take your title, and that title, once you're a national champion, you carry that title. You carry the title wherever you go. He's a national champion. He's a national champion. Whoever you're fighting the national champion. So you always got like a target on your back. I'd say you're always constantly trying to defend that and making sure no one's beating you. And it's tough.
What keeps you hungry to keep? Is it just the winning? Because once you've done that, I can imagine it's a bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Looking back, I'm thinking now. Like I've actually thought about it. These questions actually get me thinking back. I don't know how I was motivated. Really, I don't know. I think I'm just built to win. I think.
Yeah, just hated losing that much.
I don't know. I just think I hate losing that much. I just didn't want to lose. Didn't matter if it was for a national title or if it was a club out down the pub. I just didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kept me going. I just want to win. And rather than thinking I'm building up national titles, just take it one step at a time, 1 year at a time. Okay, won the nationals last year. Next year, it's a new year. Let's get the nationals again.
Yeah.
That's what it was for most years, I think.
And what did you do as an international? Did you go on to England then?
I got into England, after my first one, but I had a few tournaments for GB. But on the England squad, I never fought I fought in like Wales and Ireland and Scotland, but I never actually got to fight in like any Europeans because I was too light.
Yeah.
Twice in a row I was too light. So 2 European championships I missed out on because I was too light. Genuinely, I was quite tall for the weight, so I did say, I can go up in weight, no problem, and I can fight in the Europeans. I had the frame to do it, but They said no because they had people already at the weights. It wouldn't really make sense me winning the white nationals at one weight and then going to the Europeans at another. But I was game for it. I seen obviously because obviously when you're in England you do video analysis and you see the videos of some of the kids. And respectfully as possible, I think I would have beat him up in the Europeans. I think I would have really well at the Europeans. But
did you box at 48 or 51?
I boxed.
Senior.
I
As a
boxed,
senior.
As a senior, I was 51. Senior was 51. But when I was a bit younger, I was quite light actually. It was only
42 a junior.
yeah, I was only like 44s, 46s before that. I think in lockdown I went quite big actually. Before lockdown I was too light.
Everyone went big in lockdown.
No, I went big that way and that way. So it was one of them. But yeah, I put on some size in lockdown. That's when I started. There was no excuse about weight, and then that's when it all started going. And even in GB, I had the opportunity to go to the Europeans and the Worlds, but I turned pro, so I didn't do.
So that was my next question, because it's the pinnacle of amateur careers in the game, picked for GB. And then why did you turn over?
Yeah, I get asked this a lot actually. GB was good fun. GB was good fun. I was on there for a year. Sparring was top, and I went into a few international tournaments, won gold in every single one. But I was getting offers to turn pro, and I got a couple, and I ignored them. I thought, I've made my choice. When you get to that kind of GB level, and obviously you do 4 rugged assessments, proper assessments, like they really test the waters to see if you're good enough. So I passed my assessments, then got to the point of signing my contract. So that's when you really think, okay, am I going to do GB or am I going to turn pro? And I chose GB. I did choose GB. I said, you know what, I'm going to see out my contract, however long that is. Then once I've got the experience I need, I'm going to turn pro. But I was quite experienced anyway, but I thought, let's just get more experience. More experience doesn't hurt. But yeah, at the time before I left GB, I got some good offers. I got offered, I had Matchroom knock on the door. We had Sam Jones, my manager. And I just thought it's just too good to turn down. It's just too good
I
to
think
turn
when
down.
people like Sam Jones and Matchroom are knocking on the door,
that's
you've got to at
serious.
least listen to what they're saying.
And for someone that's my weight, it's like unheard of
Mm.
to get signed by such people, unless.
And from around our area, to be quite honest, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
you're right.
not-
You're dead right. No one from my area.
Mm.
But then you think you got Eddie Hearn, knocking on your door. A little lad from Warsaw, probably. Eddie Hearn's never touched the rims, touched the edge of Warsaw in his life. Bless him. I don't think he wants to be around here, but
he's done great things for the game, hasn't he?
100%. And I think it's hard not to say he's the best promoter in the game. I think it's hard not to say that. I mean, Fat Warren's right up his backside, but Eddie's the man, and when you get offered like that, someone like that at that age, being that young, you kind of think over your career and you think, okay, being on you for this long and then pro for this long, is it going to work? And my aim, they say this to you actually, when you get to GB, they say, if your aim is to be a world champion as a professional, leave GB, turn pro. If you're willing to be an Olympic gold medalist, this place is for you. And I said I want to win Olympic gold, but I was lying. Being an Olympic champion was never my dream. Obviously, no one ever says no to the Olympics. And
Of course.
Olympics is massive, of course. If you got the chance to represent your country at the Olympics, you take it a million times out of 10. You know what I mean? But it was never my dream when I first put the gloves on to be an Olympic gold medalist. And I mean, some people are. Some people put the gloves on and say, I want to be an Olympic gold medalist one day.
I think it depends as well. We want to go on to GB so we can get a medal, so we get noticed by Eddie, Frank. But sometimes, if you're looking at the cycle, I'm going to miss this cycle, so it's the next Olympics.
Exactly.
And then you think, well, how many years have I got in my prime, especially as a littler one?
Yeah.
Because you have a shorter shelf life. As a super or a heavyweight, you can box into your 40s.
Of course you can, yeah.
But when you're younger, like in and out, boom, back, boom, and moving around.
It's all about speed.
All about speed.
Reflexes, agility, all these things, all these little things. And I'm a thinker. I do think about these little things. I don't just go out and just go head first. GB now.
Yeah.
Leave the pros. I'm a thinker, so I'm always thinking about my career. So I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my family. So I've got people who I care about who I'm doing it for. So I want to make every step and make sure it's the right step. And I think just at that time, sometimes you just know. You just know it's the right step. And I just said to Rob, I think it's the right time. And the GB coaches, I'm sure they would have loved to have me You know, especially because we didn't do very good at the Olympics,
Mm.
and I think I could guarantee that I would have got a medal at these Olympics. But it's God's plan at the end of the day. It was my turn to turn over, and I had enough experience in me to turn pro. So I turned pro.
Well, I was just talking to your younger brother downstairs, and I was saying, like, we're on about like turning pro and everything. And I said, you've got to have at least a season as a man, because there's a difference between an 18-year-old and a man. And sometimes the lads aren't good enough to tie shoelaces, but he's just a strong, hungry man. Just learning how to keep the beast at bay, isn't it?
100%. It's a totally different game, and if it wasn't for my father, I think I probably would have turned pro at 18. Every young kid wants to do it, and you see the bright lights fighting like top. You got your abs out, you know. It just looks the part, and it's fighting as a professional. And Dad says, no, you need to have that scene experience. I said, Dad, it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
It's great having someone who's saying that out of love instead of being selfish, isn't it? And saying, we're going to get there, believe in the process.
Exactly.
For the sake of a year or two, learn your trade that little bit more, and then you go straight into it.
Exactly. We talked about this actually, yeah. It's a totally different game. When you've got a strong man coming at you, it's completely different when you've got someone at your age. It's completely different. But I've done well in the seniors. I've done really well in the seniors. The plan was to stay on for a year, but I was just doing so well. By the end of my senior career, I was undefeated as a senior. Never lost a single fight as a senior. It suited me down to the ground.
And that's not even at club level. That's fighting for GB as well, at the highest level in the amateur.
National level, then international, yeah. I had loads of fights as a senior, undefeated as a senior. I was the youngest ever to win it 2 times, the Senior Elite National Championships.
Brilliant.
The first time I won it, I stopped a 29-year-old man in the finals, first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was different though, the first senior fight. I remember my first senior fight. I fought a man who was like 25. I was just turned 18. And I remember the first shot, because there's no head guards, so this is the first time you fight with no head guards. I remember the first shot, he come and he just jabbed my body and tried to come over with the backhand. And I remember, because I didn't wear a head guard, I could hear the shot go past my face. I could hear the wind of the shot go past my face. Then I was like, okay, this is serious now.
Don't get it by him.
I normally box like this. I was like, okay, I might keep my left hand up there. Do you know what I mean?
Dudley?
Was it Dudley? Actually, yeah, he was in Dudley. So, yeah, it was like, okay, this is serious. And obviously, I went on to win it. But yeah, that experience is just different, man. It's just different. And obviously,
like I say, just not having a head guard on.
That's
the
big.
feeling of not having
That's
the
very
head guard there, and
it's a lot of the kids actually. That's a hurdle that they fail at without the head guard. It's because sometimes it's not just the punches; it's the headbutts and the elbows and stuff. That's what I noticed. I don't know about others, but being hit on the face, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind getting hit clean on the head or on the face, because I don't want to get hit much anyway. Really, I move and bop out of the way, but the headbutts were horrible. The headbutts were horrible, I remember.
It's like when your head guard, because when you got the hat on, you can fall in with the head and you're hitting on head guards.
Yeah.
But when that head guard's off, it is, and some people are dirty, but then they're rubbing it in.
100%, especially at the start, because you got the full sense of security, you still kind of think you got a head guard on.
Yeah.
You kind of fall in and go off the heads. It is painful, and some of the kids, they struggle with that. They do struggle with that, and you see them turning away and stuff, and that's when you kind of know, okay, it's not good science. Do you know what I mean? And you don't want to be doing that at professionals, because professionals, the spotlight is always on you. Every fight, the spotlight's on you. If you lose, down the pecking order. So you'd rather have that experience in the amateurs, where you're like, oh, that hurt, or yeah, do you know what I mean?
And the loss doesn't mean as much as
even if you do lose, so what? People forget about it.
It hurts, but as you say, people forget about it next week.
But I tell you what, if you lose as a pro, you're getting clipped on YouTube, on Instagram. People are laughing at you. It's not a good place to be. So you'd rather have that experience in the amateurs, and I'm grateful to obviously my dad that he told me how important the senior game is, because I thought it's just the same thing, and I learned a lot from it, and I think that's why I am what I am today. And
you've had 2 now, haven't you? When was your first one?
My first one was on the 27th of April. I took
this year.
This year.
Oh bloody hell! You've had a good year, didn't you?
Not too bad, yeah. 3 this year. To be honest, last year, just when I come off GB, I had a few injuries, because the GB kind of schedule of training is rough. It's very tough. It's very, very tough. You're training 3 times a day, every day. Even when you're off season, normally when you're off season down the club, you go on holiday or you just chill out for a bit. But even off season, you're still training 3 times a day, every day. It is tough, and I got a couple of injuries. more from just the stress of all that training rather than something specific. So took quite a bit of time out, reflected, put on a load of weight, which I regret because I did get pretty fat.
It's great while you're doing it though, isn't it?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
when you got to take it all off.
Yeah, I wish I could do it now actually. But, yeah, which is mad. I told you I regret it, but yeah, I took a lot of time out and just reflected. Then came back, trained nice and easy. Then April got straight into it, debut.
And then who was that against? Do you remember the fight?
That was against. Oh, it was a tough fight actually because I'm with Matchroom. Matchroom do not take it easy on you.
Yeah.
You're not going in against someone who's had 1 win and 333 losses.
Yeah.
You're going in with some decent opposition, and the lad I fought had just come out of a 12-rounder fight for the French title, and he'd lost on injury. Not even got knocked out or beat or anything. So he got stopped on injury. So
Never been stopped.
never been stopped.
I don't think Matchroom like you. But
well, I know what it is.
tough fight, isn't it? That.
Oh, let me tell you, he was tough as nails. Guy was tough as nails. I remember fighting him debut. I've not fought in a year. I'm doing 3 rounds of the amateurs and Matchroom straight into 6 rounders. No 4 rounders.
That's a massive jump, isn't
Big
it?
jump, innit? Double the rounds, and I come in. Everyone tells you about how slow paced the pros is, and you're just nice and touching. He's come straight on my face. Straight on my face, straight on me. Tough as well. He can punch as well. And obviously these little 8-ounce gloves,
Yeah.
you feel the shots as well. So he's come out really fast as well. Okay. And the amateur mindset kicks in. So you give me one, I'll give you back then.
Yeah.
So I started giving it him back, and I was giving him some proper meaty shots. And I can bang that can, so I'll give him some meaty shots. And I'm expecting him to fall down, but he's still not fell down. So,
Yeah.
he's not falling down. Oh man, it's going to be a long night. But I'm hitting him. And then after the first round, because the nerves, I've shook off the nerves and everything, I'm feeling really good now. So now I'm starting to take the mick out of him. I got my hands low and bopping out of the way and looking at Eddie Hearn and stuff. So I'm really enjoying it now. Really enjoying it. And as it's going on, like I said, I'm just enjoying it. I'm just punching him and moving. And now I'm not looking for the knockout. Because at the start, I want to make an impression. It's my first fight, mid Matchroom. Everyone's thinking, who's this kid making his debut? And everyone always remembers his debut. So I'm trying to knock him out, and then I've not knocked him out yet. I wish I knocked him out in the first one, a really easy night, but I didn't. But I'm just enjoying myself, Then 3rd round comes, punching his head in, normal. Then I turn southpaw, and I don't know why I turn southpaw, but I'm just turning southpaw, and I just slip, boom, and it's like it's weird because then, like, I've obviously like knocked people out before, but that quick I've never done that before. So I've hit him, and I've looked up like, where's he gone? Where's he gone? I just hit him, and I don't know where he's gone. As he come around me, he's not come around me. I see him on the floor, and I'm like, he's like, yo, what the hell? I just knocked him out. But the other, I was like, yo, I need to get focused. I'll just run to the white corner. Yeah. And I just waved it off, and I'm like, yo, that was so sick. It was good memories. It was a good debut, and I remember coming out, and Eddie Hearn was like, he was gassed. Like he was like, excuse me. He was saying like, that's the best debut we've ever seen. I was like, this guy's like promoted anti-Joshua people like that. He just said that's the best debut he's ever seen.
Was your heart just full of pride then?
I was like mad. Like you know me, I'm not really like an emotional person, bouncing up and down. Like I'm just quite chilled out and quiet and just doing my own thing. Then that day I was gassed. I was bouncing up and down, screaming about how good I was.
Your dreams are coming true then, aren't you? Thinking, wow, here it is.
Literally does. Like you said, your dreams that you've dreamed since you were a kid, pro debut in front of, you've got cameras, you've got commentary, and that was sick, man. That was so sick. That was probably one of the best days of my life. That was so sick, man.
So I actually watched that fight back, and inspiration from Naz, your style a bit, or
it is. Okay, I'll tell you a story actually. When I first got in the gym, first sparred, I didn't obviously spar for the first couple of weeks, but when I first sparred, I was doing all this stuff with my hands low and just popping screw shots and stuff, which, Kev's very on the basics, so he would have killed me. He would have killed me, and Bob was out there.
But if Prince Nazim walks in, you can't change him because God's just put that in him.
No, I don't think you'd expect it on his first spar either, though.
Spar as well. I didn't have a clue. I'm just moving around throwing screw shots and stuff, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm just dancing around, just being who I am. Didn't have a clue about boxing or how to throw jabs or nothing. Just doing what I do. Then I had people coming up to Dad and asking him, and telling him, he fights like Prince Nazim, and I heard it a few times, so it wasn't a coincidence. So then I said to Dad, are these like taking the mick? Who's this Prince Naseem geezer? I hope they're not taking the mick out of me, like, because I'll give him one, like. I said, no, well, I'll show you Prince Naseem, and I come back and he's got like these mad old VHS tapes.
Yeah.
What are these? Come on, man. What are these? He's got the VHS tapes out. He's put them in, like, yeah, that's the first time I saw Prince Naseem. I was like, oh, this kid's good, man.
Yeah.
He's got his stupid leopard shorts and stuff. Like, this kid's
Yeah,
good.
flipping the ropes and
Flipping the ropes all down. I still
Proper
can't do that, by the way.
showman.
I still can't do that, by the way. I'm too stiff, but I tell you what, I can fight like him. So I do take inspiration from him, actually, yeah, and I watch him, and there is a skill to what he does. It's not just dancing and messing about. There is skill to what he does.
How many people have tried to be Naz, but they're not Naz?
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
he had what he did do. He wasn't clumsy. He had perfect balance,
Mm,
orthodox, southpaw,
exactly.
and because he was relaxed and had balance, that's why he could punch.
Exactly, and he used his legs. It properly used it. He wasn't just falling in his upper body.
No.
Using his legs, bending his legs, coming up, and using all the energy that he has in his legs. And it is a skill, like I said, to do that. And but at the same time, as much as it's a skill, and you can learn most skills, if you can't naturally box like that,
Exactly.
I wouldn't recommend teaching someone to box like that. It is
Because,
very risky.
but like Ali couldn't box like Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis couldn't box like Mike Tyson. They're all great. Larry Holmes, Audley Harrison, not Audley Harrison. What's he called? Evander Holyfield. Some of the greatest heavyweights of all time, but they had to stick to what they were good at.
Exactly. And that's not to say you can't add anything. Of course,
Add
you can
stuff, of
add and you can
course.
steal some stuff. Like, I'm a little flyweight, but I've stole stuff from Anthony Joshua, a big, stiff old heavyweight. So you can steal
Yeah.
stuff of everyone.
Yeah.
But like trying to replicate someone's style is a different story, I think. And I think that's the challenge of coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching is adding things to a boxer.
Yeah.
But try not to take away his style. And I think Dad could tell you more about coaching, because I do a bit of coaching, but he's obviously the coach around there. Around Fearless anyway, so he could tell you more about that. But yeah, man, that's the challenge of coaching.
But you've got to see someone and have them box how God's made them, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to think, all right, then you're a mover. We can't be flat-footed, or we can't. You add to it. You don't take it away, do you?
No, not really. You stick with them what they know best, and you basically polish them. You know, you can't make, like you said, you can't make Mike Tyson Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
You can't make Lennox Lewis, Muhammad Ali or something. It's just they could only do what comes natural. So you stick with it, and you add more to it, and you polish them. That's all.
That's it. All we've got to do is work with what they are and make them the best them
Work
they
with
can
what
be.
they have, basically.
And about your second fight?
my second fight was very soon after my first fight. I think it was only about 7 weeks later. So unfortunately, didn't have a chance to get fat again after my first one. I was straight back into training, so bloody hell, Eddie, man. I couldn't even make it a couple of weeks later, but no. So straight back into training. Actually, it was not ideal because I had an opponent. He was a good opponent, but he pulled out last minute. I think it's because he was scared of me, and I don't blame him for that because I'm quite scary. I am
Who
quite
can blame
scary.
him?
I am quite scary. So Kevin, come on, okay. I am quite scary. But he's pulled out. He's pulled out a week before. A week before, and that's terrible.
So you've been on a camp for this particular style.
Yeah, a week, and it's just a week. Not even like 2 or 3 weeks. It's a week before. So at flyweight, at my weight, which I'm finding out for this fight coming up now, but my weight's flyweight. So now we're in like in a mad race, and because I'm 1-0 with 1 KO, a bit harder to matchmake.
Yeah.
Because they're all seeing the KO doing the views on YouTube and stuff. So
Yeah, they don't want to become a meme either, do they?
I know. I'm like, don't worry, I'll take it easy on that one. They don't listen.
Lying for your team.
Yeah, they don't believe me. I thought I sounded quite convincing, but they don't believe me. So me, Dad, Sam, we just on the phone back and forth. This opponent, no. This one, no. I think we went through about 40 different opponents. Nothing. I think how many countries, man? There was like countries like I never heard of, like Costa Rica and my geography is bad, so if I haven't heard of Costa Rica, it's not my fault. There's like these mad countries that I've never heard of, and
Visa issues and all that.
yeah, this issue, that issue, they can't do this. I think we went through about 40 opponents, and then we finally found one. But he's like I think he's like a super bantam or featherweight. He's like 4 weights above me.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, okay, got a decision to make here. I either jump 3 weights and make the show happen, or make the fight happen, sorry, or I'll come off the show. And in a normal case, you probably say get off the show. 4 weights. 4 weights is a lot of weights, you know.
A lot.
And I'm
Especially
only
on a
young.
small frame.
And I'm only young, and the guy's obviously 28, 29-year-old. He's proper. Whatever weight he's at, he's proper, right? Like, and you'll see on the weighing pictures, because I did decide to fight him. He's massive. and it was a bit of a dilemma. But I think the only reason why I took it was because it was in Birmingham, and done so many tickets, and I thought I can't let the people down now.
And nobody, you made weight on scales, but it's probably £10 heavier than
Exactly.
that.
And, yeah, and that's the worst thing is I was supposed to be fighting at flyweight, so obviously I've got the best nutritionist in the world. So I've made weight. I've come down really nice, and I'm really low now. So I'm ready to fight.
A week away.
But then I've got to shoot back up to whatever weight. So whatever weight I fight, I'm not going to be strong at it because I'm putting on weight last minute. It's good in a way because I got to eat.
That's it. That's what it is, though, isn't it? It's not you put on a bit of muscle. It's I've just ate a bit more, basically.
So basically, like got skinny arms with a bit of a belly, like what the hell? So I've ended up taking the fight 3 weights above me, and I fought him, and he was strong. Like I made him look like an absolute fool, bless him, because I was just boxing his head off, but I could feel his weight. He was strong, and I didn't stop this kid. I beat him on points. I won every round. He got a point taken off for holding because I did hurt him, and he grabbed onto me, but
just survived. But I won every round. Won it comfortably. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't stop him was because of his weight. Because I hurt him a couple of times. I'd go to finish him, and then he'd hold me. Then I'm like, I can't get him off because he's too big. He's too big and strong. And the second reason why is because I injured my hand in that fight. I injured my hand in that fight. What happened was, I think it was in the second or third round. I'm just peppering him, just building up. It's 6 rounders. You don't go for the kill straight away. You just break him down. And I'm breaking him down now. I'm boxing really well. I'm starting to. You can just tell by body language when someone's like. The kind of resistance is broken. It's kind of cracked a bit. You kind of see a chink in the armor. You kind of see him reacting to shots a bit more. You kind of see him. He's a front foot fighter, but he's taking backward steps. So you kind of know, okay, I could up the gears now. And so I'm jabbing, and then I've hit him with a 1-2. I'm thinking, okay, let me put some power into this one now because he's there, and he's ducked ever so slightly, and I've gone top of the head, and the guy's got a rock head. Like I tell you go through this door, that kid was. And I've hit him right off the top of the head. And I've come off, and I felt like an electric shot through my arm. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, so I'm fighting, and my arms like this, and I forgot I'm in a fight, so he hit me with the jab. And I'm kind of walking up, and yo, I'm in a fight. So I'm back here now. The man just stuck here all this time. Is it? I was like, okay, I'm in a fight now. So I'm like, what do I do? Okay, I'm just jabbing his head off now. I was like, okay, let me just try the backhand, see. Oh, no, never mind. So I couldn't throw the backhand properly. So now I'm just jabbing him. And I had an injury from my debut, from my left hand. Not major, but obviously because I was using my left hand so much, it's obviously getting worse. So now I'm kind of at a stage where like kind of round 3 or 4, and I basically got no hands really. I'm hitting him, both of them hurting. But at the same time, I am kind of slapping him. But it's still, because I've got loads of power, I'm not even hitting him. I'm smacking him, but he's still breaking down. And the resistance is kind of going. So then I've come back in the corner, and Dad's obviously doing the corner. Dad's my coach. So I was coming in the corner, and he's giving me like, he's proper getting onto me like, why are you not taking this kid out for? What are you messing around for and dancing around like an idiot? What are you doing? Get him out. I was like, Dad, my hand's gone. And he was like, yeah, I know about that because he fixes this one. I was like, yeah, just use the other one. Oh yeah, that's gone too. That's gone too. I've got no hands. And when I says I've got no hands, you should have seen the look on his face, man. Like I've seen it before. So I was kind of laughing in my head, but he was so stressed. He was panicking because obviously he's not just the coach, it's his dad, isn't it?
How do you find it being in the corner for your son? Is it
very, very? I was so nervous, basically.
I can't even imagine it, to be honest with my lad.
I don't know. Especially when he said to me that both hands are gone, and I'm thinking, what do I tell him?
Well, it's mad though when you think about it. You've got no hands, and he's sending your son out with someone with a big stiff oak. He's got no hands. Imagine that.
Yeah,
he was proper nervous, man.
But that's when you fight up. It's like, well, do you want to get pulled? Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and you box with some kids or blokes. They have a bad hand. It's over. We'll pull it. And there's other ones going, I'd rather go out on my shield here. I can beat him no-handed. I've just got to pop and move.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm blessed to have that skill and that
and experience.
The heart. And you build it over the amateurs you get. And obviously that's the good thing about things like tech sparring and stuff. Because you kind of prepare one day, off my hand's gone, use the other one, or this one's gone, use the other one. You kind of learn these little things. And because I'm full of confidence too, I'm like, no problem. No hands, no problem. I mean, but it was tough though. It was tough.
But even like, when they changed your opponent last minute, because you had such a decorated amateur career, you're used to having to change like each week in the championships, you're fighting someone different all the time, aren't you?
100%. Yeah, you kind of used to it. I remember from my first national title, you fight on Saturday, Sunday, semi-finals and finals. You fight on Saturday, Sunday, 2 days in a row. So Saturday, I've got the reigning national champion. But he's down here, fights like Mike Tyson. I mean, no, he's not. He's already up here.
Yeah.
No, he's not. That's one in the finals, but yo, this guy's he's up here.
Yeah.
And I've got to try and get inside of him. And then the next, I've beaten him up. And the next day, I've got someone down here like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
So it's mad. You have to like adapt to different styles. So like, in that sense, it wasn't too bad. Like having to adapt a week later for a different opponent, it wasn't too bad because you've got the experience. But it was more so the weight that was the issue.
Yeah.
That was a big issue.
But if you think like jumping up 3 to 4 weight categories, it's madness, isn't it?
It's tough, man. It's, there's a lot of difference between these weight categories, and I'm only a kid as well.
We have weight categories for a reason, don't we?
Of course.
And I always remember the prime example of that was when Kelbrook fought Triple G, and he was peppering him, beep, 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 beep. But when the bigger man got hold of him, you could see the weight difference, couldn't you?
100%. And like you said, there's weight difference for a reason. But
lucky for you that you punch heavier than your weight anyway. You're not just slick and slide. You've got that kind of stay there power.
Exactly. And the kid was all right as well. I was obviously 1-0 going into it, but the kid was 5-1.
Yeah.
So he had a good record. He wasn't half bad. So
yeah.
You look at it from the outside and think we're a bit crazy taking the fight, but.
And if he's got that week, he's thinking, I've come here to win.
Of course, I'll tell you what, he came to win, man. You know, you could see the look in someone's eyes when they want to win and when they're just coming for a lie down. I remember the weigh-in. I think he took confidence from how I looked a bit scrawny for the weight, to be honest, because I was only tiny. I just got up last minute, but it looked like he was on it. He was fired up and ready. But yeah, man, that fight was more fun, if anything, because I wasn't gonna knock him out, and he was probably good in the sense because sometimes
get the rounds.
Yeah. In the rounds,
and you've experienced now being injured in a fight, and that's a big. It's like when hopefully you never get a cut, but if you get a cut, you need to know how you cut and how to deal with that.
Of course.
Because if you do it and you're in a world championship fight and it's your first cut, you might panic. Whereas if you had it before, you might dealt with this before.
That's
there's
no teach like experience, they say.
Yeah.
So it was good to experience these little things while I'm only getting started. But it was good fun. I danced around him, just messed about. Got a really viral clip. I think it on 2 million views that did. At the end of the bout, I messed about because I knew it was the last 2 seconds. So even if I hit him, I could just run away. You won't hit me back.
Yeah.
So I was saying, I was coming out. I rolled right there, done like a Roy Jones left hook on his face. And he didn't expect it, so he's walked around like an idiot with his hands low. He's just walked into me. I'm like, gosh, and I hit him with the left hook, and I just walked away like I'm some madman.
But the way that we are now in 2024, if you can get a clip like that to go viral, it just brings so much traffic towards your pages, doesn't it?
And hopefully
100%.
Sponsors.
100%. Oh yeah, 100%, man. 100%. It does, and that's the game that we're in. But there is a fine line at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There's a fine line that you do need to know what you're doing with it, because if you try stupid stuff to get a few views on social media, you could get caught and be the butt of the joke.
I think Ben Whittaker's probably experiencing a bit of that at the moment.
Of course, yeah.
You know, he's obviously
social media people aren't nice.
Yeah,
they're not nice at all, man.
And they're not even boxing people. The keyboard warriors aren't they?
100%.
Just being horrible for the sake of being horrible, thinking, try it yourself.
Yeah, it's actually mad. I think they come on just to spew their daily bit of negativity.
Yeah.
And sadly, I think most of the time, I don't know why, but my posts are always the ones that are there.
Yeah.
So they're giving me plenty of stick. But
how do you deal with that though? Do you just block it out, ignore it, and don't read it, or you?
No, I quite like it actually.
A bit of fuel.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think like, I want to show you my next one. I just find it really funny. I think
I always think as long as they're watching your fight and hopefully paying for pay-per-views when you're at that stage.
Yeah,
it don't matter if they love you or hate you then.
But like I've always had like tough love from my family and stuff. So like this kind of stuff on like social media, I think it's nothing. It's just a few words, and obviously, of course, I know other people take it differently, and it can be quite bad for their self-esteem and stuff. But for me, I kind of like it. I think if you've not got people hating on you, you're not getting enough eyeballs. Me and
Kev have talked about this often with what we do, because we get some comments that are a bit off, and I've always said none of them matter. They don't know you.
Yeah, cool.
So whether they're commenting and saying you're the best since sliced bread or you're the worst since sliced bread, either don't matter, because they've never met you. They don't know you. So
100%.
Why would you take any credence in what they're saying?
No, you shouldn't take it to heart at all.
No.
even people saying good things. Of course, you've got to be grateful for people supporting you and stuff, but you don't want to take it too to heart. You don't want to make yourself too focus on what people are saying, because then if you do something and you see people really like this, you shouldn't base what you do on what people like, because it's risky. It's very risky. And like you said with Ben Mirka, a lot of people like the showboating and the flashy stuff, but even those people after his last fight, they've all turned against him. So
you've seen it with Big AJ, who's the nicest man you'll ever meet, isn't it? And I can never understand why people hate AJ, because he's the kind of bloke, if you want him to sign it, or a disabled kid, or he's just one of life's good people, in it, AJ.
100%.
And he does something wrong and everyone hates him. I'm thinking, there's nothing to hate off this bloke.
Sorry, can I just say, we've got quite a few people commenting in at the moment. I won't read them all out, but what I'd say, if anyone wants to ask you a question, just write it in on Facebook or whatever, and I'll ask it while we're on air.
100%.
So if anyone's got any questions,
fire away. I'm available till late, so
And
fire away.
On about your career, who you're fighting next? Because you're fighting on the Matchroom card in Birmingham on the 30th of November, aren't you?
I've got a big step up with my next fight. I'm fighting the reigning area champion.
Oh yeah,
I'm fighting the reigning area champion. Yeah, my third fight.
fantastic.
So it's a good little step up. I know the boy he's good. He's a good fighter. He's got a good winning record. He's coming to fight. He's coming to win. But I'm coming to take his head off, as I always do.
How many rounds?
I don't know how many rounds it is actually. I think they were saying it's either 6 or 8. But I don't know what it is. I don't mind. I think I'm taking him out anyway. So whatever it is,
it's a brilliant card, isn't it? The whole card, the main events.
That's what it's about. You want fights that you're going to be excited for.
And they've got Conor Walker on, who we've had on a few months ago. Main events, Edwards and Yafai, which is going to be a cracking fight.
Are they your weight?
Edwards, you find my weight, yeah. So Matchroom been really excited about having me on this show.
Because they've both been on GB.
They have.
So once again, but like for the lower weight, since Prince Nazim, the lower weights don't normally get a shout. But to have your weight on a main card, Matchroom card, how brilliant is that?
Amazing, and I think we're starting to do really well. We're starting to get a few more eyeballs, and we in past years we've had to do a lot more than other weights to get the eyeballs.
Yeah,
I mean, even me, I've had to be really, really good and really flashy and build a big following to be able to be noticed at my weight, which it shouldn't be the case. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think the normal person, walking down the street, what does he want to see when he tunes into a boxing fight? He wants to see knockouts. He wants to see blood. He wants to see guts. We don't. We kind of understand a bit of boxing, so we like to see a bit of boxing, a bit of skill, but they don't. So the heavyweight division really, and the bigger they are, normally the more knockouts.
Well, I've actually got a question, actually. I think this might be a bit of an inside joke, Hamza, but I'm going to read it. So this is from YouTube Shock. It says, Hamza, who do you hit on the jaw at a young age and hurt him as a grown man?
I know this is Justin, isn't it? I think
is YouTube Shock his name?
I'll give him a shock when I give him the hook. Okay, this is what happened. I think Justin, if this is you, if this is you, okay, I'm gonna tell the story now. Basically, I'm a little kid. I'm proper little mischievous little kid. I'm about 9-10 years old.
9.
Was I 9? I think so. And Justin must have been about 28, 29, I think. And Justin, if you know Justin actually had one fight, and he won that fight. And Justin is like a tank.
It is Justin. He just said yes.
Yeah, Justin, I know it's you, man. I knew it was you. I know I've punched a lot of people on the jaw, but yeah, Justin. I
remember this one.
I remember Justin's one. That one was a good moment. But Justin, if you know, Justin's a lovely guy. Honestly, I've got so much love for him. But he's a big, strong. You don't give 2 looks to Justin on the street. Like you look at him once and you look down. This Justin and me and Justin we were just playing about a bit. And I was just a bit mischievous. I just hit everyone and just mess about, push him and kick him with the bum and stuff. I was only down here as well. And Justin's motto was always, if you can give it, you got. If you're old enough to give it, you're old enough to take it, innit? And so I was just messing about with Justin, and then he started hitting me, like just taking a minute, like just hitting me, like, and they started tickling me as well, and I'm proper ticklish, and I hate that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, no problem, okay. So I enjoyed it. I just about survived. So I walked off, and I've kind of let him forget about me. So he's just talking and just let him forget about me, and then I've come back, and I've since forgot about me. And I've come around the back of him, man. He's about up here, and I'm down here. So what I've done, I've tapped him on the back. He's turning around, look back at me. I've just jumped and went, left hook in his jaw, yeah. in proper flush, yeah. I've had gloves on, but I've had all them proper like old bag mitts, like nothing in them.
Everyone's got them at the
Yeah,
gym
you know
like
them
that,
ones,
yeah.
like, whacked him off the chin. And he's like, his jaw's gone. His jaw's gone. And I thought he was messing about. And then he's come home and the next day, and then he's told my dad. And he's like, when he's told my dad, then I'm serious. And he says, Raj, I can't move my jaw. Like, he's not in the gym. I was like, where's this guy, man? He's not in the gym. And then he's saying to dad, oh, I can't move my jaw. And he's like talking like this. Like, and I was like, oh, what have I done? Like, and that's when he said he knew I'm gonna have the power to knock people like clean out. I was only 9 years old.
To me, Raj, I've had a few on the street. I've had a few in the ring as well. I've never been hit like that. I'm embarrassed to say a kid hit me that much. No one ever did that to me.
Yeah, I hate it. I said to him, if you're old enough to give it, old enough to take it. I said to him, proper give it to Justin, man. But Justin's a lovely brother, man. Me and Justin, we've grown over the years because I think I had my first skills, but on the day he had his only fight.
Yeah.
So we've known each other for ages, and that's where we build a bond. I think that's the beauty of amateur boxing. That's where you build a bond.
Yeah.
Like me and Justin would probably never like meet each other if it wasn't for amateur boxing. And we're so like different, but like we share such a tight bond because of the boxing. And I think that's why boxing.
I think the training does that for you as well, doesn't it? You're all in the trenches. You know, you all know how hard it is,
you all
and
just suffer together.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
Just suffer together, yeah. And then
Amateur boxing gyms have a Pakistani, with a Yemeni, with a travelling boy, with a black bloke from Zimbabwe to a white guy. And it's where else, what other sport could everyone break bread and you see each other as brothers? And you bump into after 10 years, you go, bloody hell, do you remember you broke my nose? Yeah. But it's not like a street fight broke the nose. No. It's that respectful of
100%. And you just sit and laugh about it and like it was normal. And I don't think there's any other sport that does that.
Especially amateur boxing, where you see like you'll go to a ghetto where the police won't even go. You'll find an amateur boxing club. And your gym is your mosque, your church, your councillor's office. You're a dad, you're everything to these young people who've got nothing. And you've given them love and a family. You've given them something that no one else could give them. And amateur boxing does that so well, doesn't he? 100%. And we keep it so cheap. Like you keep your gym membership cheap. If they haven't got a gum shield, you give them one. If they haven't got a head guard, if they haven't got gloves. So it's something that everyone can afford to do.
100%. You don't get paid for an amateur fight.
No.
I think that's one of the beauties of it.
Or to be a coach.
Or to be a coach, for that matter. Yeah, you don't get paid. You don't get paid. It's simple as that. And so, if the bond is not money, it's like it's that love and you know that care that you have for each other. I think that's what makes that bond so strong. Because anyone can have a bond over money, but once the money's gone, the bond's gone.
And you need that, don't you, Raj, as a coach? That kid or that bloke or that woman has got to trust you because you're going into battle, and you need to trust your coach. And if they're saying you're behind or whatever, you need that love, thinking, I respect you enough to listen to whatever you say.
100%.
And it is.
That's how it should be, yeah.
That's how it should be, isn't it? Because sometimes you're seeing it through a different lens to the boxer. And you're saying, like, keep your hands up. I'm not being spiteful, I'm just saying, get your hands up because you're getting pinged.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they're losing, you throw the towel in, they go, I'm all right. I went, oh, no, you haven't. It's my job to keep you safe.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than a brave coach. You're thinking, I'm here to save you. Whether you fall out with me, I know I can go and sleep at night because I've looked after you.
100%.
So after this fight, where are your big plans then? Obviously take over the world and...
Of course. But I don't know, actually. The potential to do what I want is there because I'm so skillful. I've got so much to my game. I'm at a lightweight, so the world titles come really fast. There's no competition. The pool of competition is quite low, so the discrepancy between like this level and world level, there's not much in between. So the world titles are going to come really, really quick. But it's all about just building. Obviously, we don't have the time of like a heavyweight. A heavyweight will take years till he gets to that world title stage, whereas we don't. But still, even in that short time, we need to build and have the right fights at the right time so that when I do get to the world title, I'm going there taking his head off and taking his belt off him, not just going there to make up any numbers. So the future's exciting. I think that's why, Matchroom was so excited with me because there's so much potential. But we'll see. We'll just take it one fight at a time. I'm focused on this fight now.
Who's the English or British champion at your weight? Is there one?
I think the British is vacant.
Yeah, I think it's vacant.
Could you have read on Matty Windle?
Matt Windle, yeah, he's.
Because he come onto the show and he was saying, like, because he was at his natural weight was 48, but then to fight for a title, he had to move up to 51.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a British or it might not have been a European at 48.
Yeah.
So he had to come up to fight for a title.
Yeah.
But you're at that weight comfortably anyway. That's your weight,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, that's my weight. Yeah. So yeah, I think the belts are there to take, but it's all about taking the right one at the right time.
Exactly.
I mean, this fight right now is for I'm fighting the area champion, but the area belt isn't on the line. As I said, I don't really want to fight for the belt. I just want to make sure my trajectory is towards world titles, and if I can pick up a British or a European on the way, I'd love to. Of course, it'd be an honor to win those titles, but I've not really got a set plan where I want to do British and Commonwealth and European then world and do like the proper traditional route. That's not really my thing, and you can't because I'm at such a lightweight, and I've not got time to wait for all these things to be in place. So I'm just taking it one step at a time, one fight at a time, and seeing where I go. This fight, I'm looking to put a big statement out. This is going to be like my big statement fight. It's a big step up, good fighter. So if I can make a big statement, then I can really start pushing on for titles.
And if anyone wants to buy a ticket, what's the best way of getting it?
I have a lot of physical tickets, and I like to sell my physical tickets, because if you do on the web, there's it's an extra charge to do it on the web, and I think it's unnecessary. And there's a lot of older lads who they try to buy online, but it's all a bit of a hassle.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but
A lot of older lads.
I'm trying to be
a lot of dinosaurs.
I'm trying to be respectful, and
But it's right, isn't it? Some people just, can you drop me some tickets off? I'll give you some money.
Yeah, simple as that. I think it's more simple. Even if you're a younger guy, like, I don't know if I'm lazy, but I can't bother to go on the website. Just filling all my details.
You might get to meet you as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course you would. Yeah, well, you can put in a special request. I need to meet Hamza Uddin. At
least sign my ticket or something.
Yeah, also the tickets. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, just DM me on my social media and whatnot, or
What are you on social media?
Real Hamza Uddin on Instagram and TikTok. Hamza Uddin on Facebook. Real Hamza Uddin on Twitter. But I'm pretty famous now, so if you just search Hamza Uddin anywhere, you'll find me somewhere. Or you can pop into Fearless. Pop into Lions. Kev will sort you out nice. I'm not promising any discounts, but he'll sort you out.
I'll charge you extra. I'll put my drink on it.
Mad. Yeah, my older coach is from Windmill, so Windmill as well. So yeah, man, plenty of ways to buy tickets. No excuses. You know when to come. Oh yeah, Walsall Wood too. Walsall Wood. So I'm really interested with the amateur clubs. Yeah. So Walsall Wood too. So yeah, man, just just ask ask the coach at your club if you want tickets.
Yeah.
He probably knows them, and he'll probably get you a couple of tickets. You know what I mean? So get down. It's a good way to support someone from here, and it's just the tone. Maybe one day some of the lads that come and buy tickets and watch, some of the lads and girls that come and watch, they might be on these shows one day.
Do you have a dream venue you'd like to fight at? Like, it used to be Vegas. Everyone wanted to get to Vegas.
And everyone would say Vegas.
No, you're not fussed. How about a fighter from the past? Is there anyone you'd think, actually, I'd love to have had a crack at that person?
Mayweather would have been good money, but I don't know, actually. No, I don't think there's a fighter in the past I'd want to fight. I mean, I think they're all heavyweights, and I'm too small.
Yeah.
My dream was to be a heavyweight, to be honest. I was really...
You almost got there through lockdown.
I know, yeah, probably was, I was a bit too close to heavyweight, actually, for my liking. But yeah, I don't know. When I was a little kid, I was convinced I was going to be heavyweight. I don't know why. My first skills, I was 25 kilos.
Yeah.
At 10 years old. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen.
That'd have been some growth spurt.
I tell you what, yeah, like 2 lockdowns would have been there, but it just didn't happen. Just didn't come off. But yeah, that was the dream.
Who is your favourite boxer of all time?
Of all time, by myself, don't know, man. Don't know. Muhammad Ali, just like iconic,
yeah.
But then that's everyone's go-to, so I can't really say him. I don't know. Probably just Floyd Mayweather. Innit? I think the IQ levels. He was a bit of an idiot, but the IQ.
You got to respect his boxing and what he did. Whether you liked him and his training ethic.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not so tight him as a person, but as a fighter, quality fighter, man. Some fighter.
So before we go, what was your proudest accomplishment up to now?
My proudest accomplishment, I've got so many.
Yeah, tell them all.
I've got so many. I know we've got time, Kev. We ain't got that much time. We'll keep it boxing. I think my proudest moment was winning my professional debut. I think that's my proudest moment. I would have winning my first national title is a close second, but I think my professional debut was just everything was perfect, and I'd gone through so much. You know, it was so hard though that year that I didn't fight. Because that's just my routine, boxing, and I'm very routine based. I'm just always boxing, and for so long I wasn't. Like I built up a lot of like I don't know, not rage, but I just I don't know, just had like a lot of build, I had a lot on my shoulders, you know, and just being my debut, and I feel like I had so many people to impress and so many people to show how good I am, and the way it went, just the way everything unfolded, even on fight week, like you do media and stuff, and like just seeing the cameras and the lights, and I just felt like this is for me, you know. Just felt like I was
felt at home there.
I just felt at home. I felt like I was born for it. I feel like I'm reaching my potential, and obviously everything throughout the week, and then actually fighting, and then having a good opponent. So all the nerves of, you know, could easily go wrong. You know, it's boxing, you know, but then to go out and perform the way I did, and to knock him out flat on his back. And then Eddie Hearn coming and saying that's the best debut he's ever seen. I think that's like the debut of dreams. I think that's my proudest moment.
And what you alluding to something? What's your proudest moment outside the ring?
Outside the ring, I think my proudest moment outside the ring is, I think, being a role model to younger people. Yeah. I think that makes me very proud. It's a very privileged position, but at the same time, it is quite daunting, because people are watching you, and people are seeing what you're doing, and any wrong steps that you take, you almost take the responsibility of that. And likewise, being a good person and showing good things and good traits, that's also my responsibility, and it makes me proud to see that young people, they want to be me. They're telling their parents that they want to be the next Hamza Uddin, and I get photos and videos and messages about stuff like that, and it may seem like something very small. Oh, someone, you know, said they want to be like Hamza Uddin, but it's something that makes me very proud, and it's one of the reasons why I box and why I want to be such a good boxer.
Lovely. And we always like to finish with a quote or saying. Have you got any quotes or sayings that have helped you get through life?
Yes, one quote that I've been big on lately is grateful but never satisfied. I've achieved a lot of things in boxing and in life. And I'm grateful to God that He's given me the ability to do what I'm doing and what I've done. But I'm never satisfied. I never want to sit on my bum and think I've made it. There's always more to do. I could be the best boxer of all time, but I've still got to be better. I could be the richest man in the world, but I've still got to do better. So I'm grateful, but never satisfied.
Well, guys, thank you ever so much. And we want to get you back on as your career's up there and you're winning world titles and everything in between.
Likewise, Kev. Don't forget about me, Kev. I know you're big famous coach.
But guys, thank you all for listening. I want you all to take care of yourselves and each other.
Thank you.
Ta-ra, bit.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.